Let's talk about mission for a little while, because I know we're in it right now with some of the work we're doing. And Frances, I'm thinking of from the first Girl Scout troop, they talked you into
Troop
just for a little while. It
6
was going to
weeks.
be.
6 weeks.
And how did that turn out?
Well, we began when the 30 little girls were 10 years old in the basement of the Second Presbyterian Church in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and we stayed together until they all graduated from Johnstown High School, 10 to 17, and to this day, my first 2 birthday cards come from Shirley and Martha. They always remember when they were 10 years old.
I love how 6 weeks became 7 years, which became an entire lifetime.
And taking that troop for 6 weeks, who would ever think little Johnstown, Pennsylvania, New York would call a Girl Scout person, we want you to come to New York and talk to us about our national CEO position. My husband was living and he was wonderful and he was so excited. I said, I am writing a sweet note to them. I would never leave Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I'm writing a sweet note and thanking them, but I'm unable. John said, I am driving you to New York. At least you will speak to them. And he added with a little smile, I'm a filmmaker. I've always wanted to live in New York. So he said, it's totally respectful that you would speak to them. Well, he got me there, you know. Would I want to be accused of lack of respect? Went to New York. We talked for several hours. Came out. John said, how did it go? I said, oh, well, it was very exciting. They were wonderful. However, I think I scared them when they said, if you were in this position, what would you do? And I described the total transformation of the largest organization for girls and women in the whole world. 2 days later, I get a call, come to New York, and because they had heard this vision of a massive transformation, they had made it their own, and there was no pushback. We quickly tripled racial ethnic representation. We threw out the old handbooks heavy on cooking and camping and had some great scholars write 4 new ones heavy on math, science, technology. And I talked to a marvelous person, Dr. Regina Hertzlinger at Harvard Business School, about a little 5-day leadership development session for our local CEOs or staff people. Of course. So they had soon all 335 heads, and they were 5 at a time, not masses of them. So after a while, these little certificates were on the walls, and but every day was a gift. I left after 13 years. That was 5,000 days, and I never had a bad day. Had some tough ones. Never a bad day.
So, we'll date stamp you. We'll leave this side of the room off. So this is 1978 to 1990.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the Girl
I was
Scouts
in
at
the
that time.
Girl Scouts during that time.
Yeah.
So I was around 8 years old when you started.
Isn't that? Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
And I went through to junior high. So around 11 or 12 years old.
So these themes of respect and communication, and I know you still know the Girl Scout pledge because you practice that, but but what are some things, as Frances was sharing that story of staying in touch, of being of service, what are some things, Jody, that come to your mind?
Well, first of all, and I can relate, having people like your spouse be on your side and have a bigger vision of you than you may have had for yourself. If he
Yes.
encouraged you and said, just go have the conversation. If you don't have a spouse that supports you in that way, find someone. Find a mentor,
Yes.
find a friend, find a family member, but have someone who can see a bigger vision of
Yes.
you, a
Yes.
long-term, grand vision, because that's been life-changing for me. And letting go of jobs that seem good on paper but were bad for me personally, and knowing that there's something bigger on the other side.
Yes.
And
yes.
I know you mentioned that you stopped working for the Girl Scouts, but it wasn't too long until you had your next opportunity where someone saw great things in you.
Well, I never had, I was there 13 years, 5,000 days. I never had one bad day, a few tough ones. And I told them, all of our wonderful people, the volunteers, staff members, in 1 year from today I will be leaving, and we will make this our most exuberant year of the 13 years. We all caught on fire. We made it our most exuberant year. It was so exuberant that when we had a wonderful dinner and a day-long session to say goodbye, Peter Drucker came and spoke, and a number of other marvelous people to celebrate. And but when I say I never had one bad day, that is true. And when we had a battle cry, you have to have something to catch you fire. When there are 5 racial ethnic groups in our country. When any member of that, one of those groups, when they look at us, can they find themselves? And when you can say, you bet they can, it's exuberant. And we made sure that when I walked into the boardroom with my 6 members of the management team, did they all look like me? No. As the board went into session, did they all look like me? No. When they looked at us, they could find themselves enormous increase and enormous support. And we owned a couple thousand acres of woodland up in near New York City, up in a wonderful wooded area. And we needed a center for the development of girls and women.